Welcome in tonight's show. We're celebrating 40 years of Hulkamania. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes face off. I've got some spicy whiskey. Also, we have a new intro, and I'm not wearing any pants. Let's do this shit.
Yo, monkeys, it's me. It's DDP. That's right, Diamond Dallas Page, the king of bada bing, the master of the diamond cutter, the three-time world champion, WWE Hall of Famer, and founder and CEO of DDP Yoga. And baby, it is time. It is time for the Towers of Powers, the men of the hour. I'm talking about my main men, the men with the plan. I'm talking about Whiskey Pro and the Brews, baby. And we're bringing you the best in beerskis and whiskeys from the greatest city in the world, Dallas, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, can you dig that, baby? These guys are going to make you boys feel the bang. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
That is a pretty cool intro.
Hell yeah, it was, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. We got a lot to go over, man.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Punk starting shit with Cody Rhodes. You got Gunther starting shit with Seth Rollins. Rock starting shit with Roman Reigns.
Oh man, I'm telling
What's
you.
going on, bro?
It's crazy, and I guess it's just the perfect mixture of craziness, because tonight Cassie had a choir recital, and it was a 15-minute thing. She's third, fourth grade, something like that. And it was hurry up, get your kid here. All right, we're gonna sing 3 songs and then get the hell out of here. We're done with you. Then I had to rush home, get Wingstop, yada yada yada. I'm stuffing my face, gave myself heartburn. And then you tried using something new tonight. We normally use StreamYard for our stuff, and you tried using something new, and it was giving us nothing but problems. And then we couldn't upload the intro video that you worked so hard on.
Leave it to me to screw shit up, right?
No, it's not you, man. It's just, it is what it is. Brews with Steph coming in. What's up,
Who's
man?
that? Who's that?
Who is that? Who is that? So, but man, I got to give you a quick hats off. It sounds like a joke when I say it, but I mean it with all sincerity, and I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. When I gave you the producer thing, and I know we're not a real live podcast, but this is something that we got into, we love doing it, and you've taken this producer role and you have ran with it, and I love it. And the intro, we're working on that. We're going to fine tune it a little bit. I don't know why it's so loud. But thank you, seriously, thank you. I wanted to say thank you 100 times over the last week,
bro.
But
I mean, hell, and now you know what? We're hitting people on Twitch. We got Facebook, now on YouTube Live.
Right?
Kind of happy, man.
What are you drinking tonight, bud?
Let's see, right now it's Fest of Fury. It's an Imperial Feist beer from Rough Tail Brewing Company out in I believe it's Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah, Oklahoma City.
Nice.
Check it out.
Sweet. That is awesome. Ooh. Doing looks like a karate chop there or something.
Hell
kick.
Yeah.
So I've got Wicked Pickle, Spicy Pickle Canadian whiskey. Now it's hard to see with the glare and the green, I know, but so a couple of things about me. Everybody knows, obviously, I'm the Whiskey Pro. I love whiskey. I love pickles, and I love spicy things. So I saw this and I was like, perfect.
Who's that from?
It just says Wicked. One stiff pickle. That's what it says.
Wicked, like the distillery?
WHICKED pickle.com. But it is 35% alcohol by volume, 70 proof. This was a $20 can. Now, I will say this. I've been around the block a minute. I've had my fair share of whiskeys, bourbons, scotches. I'm not a big scotch guy, but we won't get into that. As much as I love spicy, as much as I love pickle, as much as I love whiskey, this is a Canadian whiskey. Now, I, for one, am not much of a Canadian whiskey guy. Not that there's anything wrong with it, just it's not my cup of tea, not my go-to. We all know Jack Witherspoon and Jack Daniels are my go-tos. So, but anyways, without further ado, now I asked Bruce before the show if I should done this the correct way and poured it in a glass and gotten all fancy, or if I should do the Whiskey Pro way. So we're going to do this the Whiskey Pro way. Cheers. Bottoms up.
Cheers.
Oh,
Yo, I sent you a little something on your phone.
okay. Smooth.
Yeah.
Ooh, spicy. And just a hint of pickle. Just a hint of pickle.
So where's the kick coming from? Is it like jalapeno pepper? Like what's contributing to the spice?
It's like jalapeno pepper, maybe something just a hair more. I don't want to say habanero because habanero will just punch you in the mouth, but it's just a step above jalapenos. It's super smooth though. Like I was expecting just boom, and no, there was no like, you know, you hear people say, I don't know if people say it, I say it. Whiskey's got a bite to it. This doesn't have really a bite to it. There's no real, oh crap, that's strong. No, it's very smooth. Smells, oh, dude, this smells amazing. This is awesome. The taste, I'm kind of working on it right now. Honestly, I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. Like I said, it's Canadian whiskey. I'm not big on Canadian whiskeys. There's something about them, and I don't know the ingredients to go into whiskeys, but there's something about Canadian whiskeys with me that just don't sit right. And I haven't figured out what it is. And I know somebody's going to come along and say, well, because they're not American. Shut up. That has nothing to do with it.
So tell me one thing. What's the
Man, that's smooth.
so what's the primary difference between like whiskey, bourbon, scotch? I know it's all encompassing of whiskey, you know, bourbon and scotch and everything else. But other than I guess like the corn is what you make scotch, or is that bourbon? No, bourbon is rye. What really sets it apart?
I think honestly, you kind of answered your own question there. It's just different types of bourbon, different types of ryes. You've got wheat whiskey, you've got wheat rye. I mean, it's just the ingredients. Honestly, I think is the big difference. And if I'm wrong, again, if I'm wrong on this, somebody please correct me. I'm no expert when it comes to how to make whiskey. I just drink it.
Well, I mean, the reason I ask is we went out and we got a bottle of Maker's Mark. So I sent you a photo.
Yep,
we got a bottle of Maker's Mark and we got a bottle of Woodford Reserve. Ooh. And I emptied out the remaining of that Witherspoon whiskey that you hooked me up with for Christmas. And I put that in the crystal decanter.
Man, I see you've been drinking some of the Witherspoon, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I like it. I like it. It's a proud whiskey moment right there.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
That's awesome, dude. But
I had my Ellington Reserve salted caramel scotch in the decanter first.
Right.
Just kind of knocked that out of the way, and then I put the rest of the Witherspoon in there, and I might do the whiskey infusion with either Woodford Reserve or Maker's Mark. I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay. Now I know big announcement tonight for anybody who's listening, watching, for the millions watching at home. This Saturday, 7:00 is the Royal Rumble. 7:00 East Central Time for us here in Texas, and for all of you peasants in Oklahoma. But 7 p.m. Central Time, we are going to have our live reactions to the Rumble. Now, obviously, we can't show the Rumble due to copyright issues, blah 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 blah. But you'll get our reactions. If Al Snow comes out, I'm going to completely lose my shit.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
But I might even try to push the camera back a little bit so you can get a wider view in case I get out of my seat and jump up and down. I'd do it for you now, but I'm not wearing any pants as we saw at the beginning of the show.
So how are you going to watch it? Are you going to watch it on your computer?
Well, I've got Yeah, I've got a TV. My camera literally sits on a little 32-inch TV right here.
Okay.
So I'll have the thing going. I've got my Xbox. I've got my laptop. I've got my own little rendezvous over here.
Nice.
So quick shout out to my daughter Haley, by the way, 16 on Friday. God, I'm getting old.
Happy early birthday.
My baby girl's turning 16, getting old on me, man. Getting old on me. But like I said, man, we have so much to cover. Breaking news. We need like a soundboard for like breaking news, like music.
I'm so on it.
But WWE next year, January of next year, goes to Netflix. 10
So
years.
is it officially January?
January. 10 years, $5 billion with a B, $5 billion. Now,
you and I talked about that too. You were asking, okay, will Netflix kind of go up in price? I don't see anything really changing. I mean, consider Netflix the same as if you watched it on like Fox or USA Network or wherever they have the live shows going on right now.
I was a little concerned about it when I first read it. That I call it that knee-jerk reaction. Like you read something, you're like, oh shit, And I sat back and I thought about it for a while, and I was like, is this really a bad thing? Because think about it. You can pretty much, I don't care if it's Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, YouTube, any streaming service you want, you can pretty much watch those anywhere nowadays, right?
Yeah.
So is Netflix really that big of a deal? Because TV ratings aren't what they used to be in the 90s. I mean, hell, Raw's been on for 31 years or something like that?
I think going to Netflix will actually be a benefit. Only because, one, you're not having to cut away from the action to go to a commercial break. You can still go live. Netflix has had many world premieres.
Oh, yeah.
Like right then and there. So it's not like you're missing anything if you don't turn it on right at 7:00 or 7:05, something like that.
Well, and here's the thing, too. A couple of things I want to try to get through here. Number one, Netflix is a little behind in the sense of you look at places like Hulu, right? You look at places like even YouTube TV now. So they're known for, you want to watch Ozark, or you want to watch or you want to watch I don't know, Cobra Kai, something like that. They're not really known for live TV. Not yet. But I think they're kind of behind in the game in that aspect. But now I think with WWE, they can kind of jockey for position. And here's another thing to think about. Now, USA has been home for Raw for forever, as long as I can remember, or close to it, right?
Right.
With them going to Netflix, they don't have to answer to anybody, which WWE loves. They absolutely love that. They don't have to worry about going over on their time because they're not sharing TV time with anybody. They don't have to
It'll actually reduce their screen time, though, too.
Well, and that's what that brings me to my next point. So are they going to stay at a 3-hour show, or are they going to knock it back to like a 2.5-hour show because they're not going to have commercials? Now,
again, 2.
Now, commercials, they could have commercials, which would help, bring in some extra money for Netflix, help bring in some extra money for WWE. They're still going to have sponsors. So there's different things they can do in that aspect. So
I don't think it's going to go to a live platform, a live TV platform. I really don't think Netflix is going to go that route. That's never been their thing.
This went from smelling like spicy pickle to gasoline.
You have fun with that, bro.
You don't like pickles?
No. Well, I mean, I like eating pickles. I don't like fucking drinking them. The whole pickle lady from Martin House? No, thank you. No. The salted pickle? No. But no, okay, so hear me out. Netflix, I don't think, is going to go the light TV route. They have something, it's not broke. Don't fucking fix it.
Right.
Keep it the same as it is. Do exactly what they do with comedy premieres, like the movie premieres. Rebel Moon is a perfect example.
Never heard
It
of
was.
it.
Oh, I gotta get on to you for that. Okay,
You haven't seen Resident Evil or Tulsa King, so I don't want to hear it.
I've seen all of the Resident Evil. What the fuck are you talking about?
Not Resident Evil, Resident Alien. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, not Resident Alien. Okay,
Yeah, just zip it.
so
You and Jen need to watch
they
that.
can market it. It'll still be live without doing the live TV portion. As far as ads go, Netflix is already on that. What do you call it? They have different avenues, subscriptions,
Monthly subscriptions.
tiers is what I'm
Tiers.
trying to fucking think of.
Sorry.
You pay a certain amount, you can see stuff with ads. You pay another certain amount, you see it without ads. You pay another certain amount, you get like the 4K kind of thing. I think I'm dropping like 22, 23 a month just to watch. Yeah, Netflix is fucking expensive, man. Because I do the 4K and then every freaking screen you can think of because we all watch it. The only tier below that is not 4K. I'm spoiled. I work hard. I play hard. I want to watch 4K. With that said, I really think that Netflix is going to benefit with WWE on there. But I think WWE needs Netflix more than Netflix needs WWE. My main concern is what's going to happen with SmackDown. Because if only Raw is going over to Netflix, that's going to cause a little, maybe a little animosity, I'm thinking.
Well, I mean, Raw can always go to Hulu. Raw can always go to Peacock. I mean, or they can.
You mean SmackDown?
Yeah, sorry. SmackDown can eventually go to Peacock. They can come over to Netflix full time. I mean, it's not. They could do like a Netflix and a YouTube thing. Really split the brands.
Well, and that brings up another thing. Peacock has always been, ever since WWE abandoned their WWE network.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you, Vince?
Right. Ever since they abandoned that and they transitioned to Peacock, I think it's been really, really great. They've provided all of their pay-per-view content in the past and every live pay-per-view going forward. Okay.
Right.
They still have not caught up to putting the live weekly shows, whether they're live or recaps, on there until like 2-3 months later. So Peacock is really just an on-demand service. That's really all it is.
Well,
It does
Netflix
not.
doesn't have
It
anything
has
live.
nothing live.
Netflix doesn't have anything live.
In a way, they do.
What you talking about, Willis?
Every world premiere for a comedy event or movie, like for example, Rebel Moon. Think of it as like it's a Zack Snyder movie. It's
Don't know who that is.
Justice League, Batman versus Superman.
Never heard of her.
You're killing me, Smalls. Okay.
I know. When you said Batman versus Superman, I knew exactly who you meant. I wanted to see how long I can drag it out. Sorry.
Okay. Think about this. Okay. When for Peacock, okay. I will use an example of the Halloween movies.
Okay.
Okay. Shameless plug. Halloween t-shirt. Let's go. So when Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends came out in the theaters, Peacock actually had a live premiere on their streaming service to coincide with when it was released in theaters. you could not see it before 6 or 7 p.m. that night that it showed in theaters.
Okay.
So, with that being said, Netflix does something very similar with their movies and their comedy shows and everything else. So, if WWE Raw went live, Netflix can promote the shit out of it and just not make it available until 7 o'clock when it goes.
I have a question real quick. My ADD is kicking in really bad.
What?
Um,
Hold up. There, does that help?
no. How many episodes is this?
This should be 13.
Okay, 13 episodes. How long you and I known each other?
Couple years. 2,
I don't know.
right? 3,
is that
2, I think.
2.5.
Something.
I'm getting fucking old, and it's just now hitting me. Just sitting here looking at myself on the camera.
What?
I don't know. It's just like I can start to see the wrinkles. I can start to see my face kind of sag down a little bit. It's just like, what the fuck, man? Like in my head, I've said this before, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No.
in my head, I'm still 25 years old. Like I am. I'm still 25.
Dude, I'm looking at the screen and I'm seeing all this gray hair right here. I just shaved yesterday and it's fucking out like today. I don't get it. Yeah.
My 20-year high school reunion is this year.
Ooh.
They're just like, there's no. Number one, I wouldn't go to that anyways because if I hadn't talked to you in 20 years, there's probably a good damn reason.
Nobody would fucking remember me on my high school.
Oh, everybody would know who the hell I was, and they would expect me to do something stupid, and then I have to do something stupid just to keep my reputation up, and I'm not doing that.
Oh my God.
I
honestly, I went to so many high schools. I wouldn't even know what reunion to go.
Well, see, I went to 3. Now, my first one, I was the shy, quiet kid up until I was about 15, 16. And then I'll peel back the curtains a little bit for whiskey. I ended up going to Boyd High School out in bumfuck nowhere. Okay, it was 3A school. Now, don't get me wrong. The way it sounds is like picking on Boyd. I'm not. I loved it there. It made me. It kind of brought me into who I am a little bit. I got to be around real country boys. I got to be around bull riders, real football players. I mean, we played every snap of every down, hurt, concussions. We didn't care. We played. And then I got to live out for a short period of time, my lifelong dream at the time to graduate and play football for South Lake Carroll. So I went from Boyd High School, 2A school, to South Lake Carroll. And, man, I got to tell you, when I got to South Lake, nobody messed with me because my first day I walked in was in March. Understand, April, May. I only had 2 months of my junior year in South Lake. I walked in, I shit you not, straw cowboy hat, wife beater, tight jeans. Like I didn't even have underwear on, cowboy boots, and a big wad of snuff right in the middle of my mouth. And the principal looked at me. My assistant principal looked at me. Shout out to Coach Willingham, and he will always forever be coach. I don't care if he is retired from the school. He was my uncle's coach in the 80s. And he happened to be the first. Yeah, and he happened to be the first person I saw when I walked into the school. And he looked me dead in the eye. He goes, "Are you Burns?" And I went, "Yeah." And he went, "Shit, my office now." And we went to his office and he sat down and we talked. He introduced me to some people and he goes, "Number one," he goes, "you got to take the dip out of your mouth because you can't have any snuff in on school property." And he goes, "Number two, keep the attitude in check." So, fair enough. Later that day in school, I won't say his name live, but little short guy. Was in a punk rock band. He managed a punk rock band. Let's get that straight. Thought he was just the shit. And when I say a punk rock band, I mean it was a bunch of juniors and seniors that were playing music. Nonetheless, I mean they were good. I won't deny that. He came up to me and he goes, "Hey, is that your piece of crap F-150 out there?" I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "You parked too close to my car." And then he shoved a girl out of the way. And I lost my S. Well, there's a few things to know about me. Number one, if you put your hands on a woman around me, we're going to have an issue. I don't care if I know you. I don't care if I don't know you. I will lose my S. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but my point is I became quickly known as the kid that was crazy in school.
brought knives to school. They found shotgun shells. No, I wasn't going to shoot up a school. Don't freak out. I went dove hunting and then came to school that day. So, but I was always known as a kid that was crazy. So if I come up to a 20-year South Lake high school reunion, somebody's going to be expecting something crazy from me.
Oh my gosh.
So
I was never around to really meet people and not necessarily get a reputation, but I mean, I moved around a lot. I was a military brat,
Right.
one elementary school, 2 middle schools, 4 high schools. And it seemed like every high school that I went to, it was literally in like the cardinal locations. I was in the north side, which is the preppy people. I was on the south side and the east side where all the fucking gang members happen to go. I fucking remember going to lunch. I think it was like my second or third day going to, it was South San High School in San Antonio.
Wow.
And it was like my second or third day. It was lunchtime. I didn't have anywhere to fucking sit. And so I literally sat on the floor in a corner having my lunch tray propped up on my knees. And stereotypical gang, right? Mexican gang that had like just one button right here, everything else wide open. You know what I mean? Right. The little headband.
They had the knee-high socks too.
I don't remember that. But no, so Marcos is the only guy that I really, really remember. And he looked at my plate. It was him and 4 others. He looked at my plate. He's like, "Hey, are you going to eat that?" And he was pointing to like my bread or biscuit or whatever. I said, "No, whatever, here." And he's like, "They gave me the wrong drink. Do you want this?" I'm like, "Are you going to beat my ass or when I take it or what?" And long story short, dude, I sat next to him like 2 classes later, fucking helping him with like, what was it, like history or English, like one of those fucking boring ass classes. And he ended up helping me with math and everything else. He was a smart motherfucker.
Wow.
And it was so like, I was like with every single group, no matter what high school I went to, but I was always the little kid off in the corner, up against the wall. Nobody really knew me. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was like Dobby. You never saw me.
Master gave Dobby a sock.
I was free. I was free when Marcos gave me a soda. God damn it.
It's that's just I know we're off. You know what? Who cares? It's
Fuck it, man.
But it's
We're
just
30
funny.
minutes in and we haven't talked about wrestling. Fuck it.
Right. Well, we talked WWE and Netflix. Whatever.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But it's funny to me because I look back and I think of all the crazy stories and all the fun times and stuff. And my best friend now, Jared Rhodes, big shout out to him. It's funny, in high school, he hung out in our immediate little friends group, but I always kind of picked on him. Jared's a tall, skinny, lanky guy, glasses, smart as a whip though, and I will put Jared's mechanic skills up against anybody's. And that's not a joke. That's not a rub. That's legit. Love the guy to death. He's like a brother to me now. I mean, even my kids call him Uncle Jared. But he was always one of the people that in high school that he watched out for me. Like he knew if I squared off with somebody in the hallway, he was the first person to let me know, hey, teacher's coming, finish it up, So, but still talk to him almost every day, still to this day. And it's funny because we were talking the other day and he was like, hey, are you going to the 20-year reunion? I went, no. Because he knows that I'm going to have to do something stupid just to make a memory. But man, I don't know. I was going somewhere with that. I was sitting here a minute ago earlier when this whole thing started. I was just like, golly, I'm getting old. Yeah, where'd the time go, man?
Fuck, dude, I'm older than you.
I know. Ask anybody. They'll tell you. I still think I'm 25. I really do.
How
Like,
how old are you?
I'll be 38 in March.
44 in August.
Oh yeah. What day's your birthday?
What? Wait, what?
What day's
It's
your birthday?
early. I ain't saying it live. Shit.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
get
Fair enough.
stalkers.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, regardless, it's funny to think about, with the time. I mean, I've got a daughter that turns 18 this year, and Haley turned 16 on Friday. It's like, man, I'm getting old. It just kind of hits you out of nowhere. But
Oh yeah. I'm gonna experience what you're going through soon, man. My oldest turns 14 in October.
man, Carter will be
I
15.
had a heart attack when he turned 13. I was like, oh shit.
I'm gonna have an adult daughter in August.
Wait a minute. Hold up. I feel like the world's shittiest parent right now. He is 14. He's turning 15 this year. Oh my God. He's gonna have a driver's license, man.
Yep.
Oh,
Well, he'll have a learner's permit.
No.
Painful memories brought to you by the letter F as in fuck.
Wait, is my math right? So in 09, 19, 1, 2, 3, 24. Fuck! He's gonna be 15 this year.
Your old lady's gonna come back and go, what are you hollering about?
I know. So my oldest is gonna be 15 and my youngest is gonna be 14.
So,
I can't keep up with them, man.
Haley turns 16, Carter turns 15, Samantha turns hang on. Haley's 16, Carter's February, he turns 15, Cassie's in May, she turns 9, and Samantha will be 18 in August. And
So let me ask you a little something. Okay. How are they with hygiene? I have to fight mine to put on deodorant and brush their fucking teeth in the mornings.
dude, that's a boy thing. I learned that with Carter.
I want to suck the shit out of them.
Carter used to take a shower and then put on the same sweaty clothes he had on before he took a shower.
What the fuck? I was never, not that I know of, I was never like that.
Well, and here's another thing about this generation. They don't want to drive. Most of them, like Carter, he doesn't want to drive. Haley, she doesn't want to drive.
Okay,
Man,
Evan really wants to. Evan does.
When I was now, granted, I had a hardship at 14 or 15. So, but my mom worked, her boyfriend worked, so there was nobody to take care of me. I had to. But still, man, I had a hardship at 15. That was like the best day of my life.
Oh, I love driving.
Matter of fact, the first day I was with my mom and I got my license, I ended up getting grounded for 2 weeks because I stayed out 2 hours past curfew.
Oh shit, that's one way to do it, man.
But man, it's crazy to me how fast life goes. But
yeah.
Speaking of how fast life goes, I figure that's a good segue. I mean, I could sit here and talk about that for hours, but 40 years today marks 40 years of Hulkamania, dude.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw Raw last night or if you watched any of it.
I watched some of it, yeah.
They cut a promo for it, and you think about all the greats that he went up against, all the matches that he had, the different generations. I mean, there are people that are our age. There are people that are older than us. There are people that are younger than us that know who Hulk Hogan is. How many different generations the different lives he's touched.
I remember watching WrestleMania 2 live. I have that distinct memory. I was like 5 years old when it aired. But I remember watching WrestleMania 2.
And so think about this. Your favorite. I don't want to say favorite because with wrestling there can be so many, right? Either your most memorable, your favorite match of Hogan. For me, I know it's going to be. It's a toss-up. It really is. It's when him and The Rock fought at WrestleMania, and I forget what WrestleMania that was.
That was WrestleMania 19.
It might have been.
Think.
But that was like, and I know this is an overused term in wrestling, but that was like a passing of the torch in a sense. It really was, because you had Hogan, who was more or less kind of on his way out. You know, he was getting up in age, the surgeries were catching up to him, and he was kind of done with WWE for the most part. Rock was still hot as could be. And that stare down and just, you know, watching him in the ring, I mean, it was like, damn, this is really happening. You know, and it was two generations kind of, just, again, cliche, two ships passing in the night. And it was just crazy to me. I was like, this is really happening right now. And
2002, WrestleMania 18.
Okay. And then the other one would be Edge and Hogan, because Edge was a massive Hogan fan. And to see Edge and Hogan in the same ring and get to see Edge be Adam Copeland for a minute and be himself, like just be a fan of Hogan, I was like, man, that is awesome. I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say a purist. I don't want to say, I don't have the words, but when you get to see an actual real raw reaction from a wrestler on TV or even live in person at an event, and they're in the ring when it's happening, that is just awesome to me. Because you saw Edge go from a performer to Adam Copeland, the human, the person, turn into a fan in the blink of an eye. And it was just, to me, it was great. And I really liked it. I really appreciated it. Shawn Michaels did the same thing with Hogan too.
Yeah.
You know, so now, to be fair, I can't really remember off the top of my head much about the Edge and Hogan thing. I don't remember if they fought. I don't remember if they teamed up. It was one or the other. But I do remember The Rock and Hogan fighting, and I remember just sitting back in awe and just going, man, this is great. This is awesome. But what memory do you have, Mash, that really sticks out?
Oh, I would have to say WrestleMania 5.
Okay.
Him going against Macho Man Randy Savage for the title.
That was awesome. Okay.
And then WrestleMania 6, when it was title versus title, him and Ultimate Warrior. It was the heavyweight championship and the Intercontinental Championship.
Yep. Now, for me, I think the most memorable part of Hogan's career, obviously, and I know this is me and every other schmuck in the world, but it had to have been when Hogan was the third member of the NWO.
That's the memorable?
That's the most memorable one.
Not his body slam of Andre the Giant.
Well,
that was the first time they did it, but like 4 other people did it before him.
I don't even know if I was alive when that happened. I was born in '86.
But you still see the replays of it.
No, and I know. I mean, look, you can talk about Andre. You can talk about the slam heard around the world, but for me, it was one of those things where it was Hulk Hogan, man. He wasn't supposed to do that, and he drops the leg on Macho Man, and I was just like, I was blown away. I was like, what is this? Mm-hmm. I saw that live, and I was baffled, man. I was like, what?
I remember being young. I was in tears when he lost to Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6. I was in tears. Little 5-year-old fucking bawling because he lost. Keep in mind.
Did he lose that match?
He lost. Ultimate Warrior, he claimed both titles, WrestleMania 6. But you know, when I was a kid, I had, you know, the wrestling buddy, the little plush little wrestle buddy that you had. I had the fucking Hulkamania boombox with the cassette tape that only played one song, and that was it. Like, I had everything, man. I was devastated when I forgot when it was. He got injured and he was out for who knows how long. It was like a couple months, but you know, as like a 5-6-year-old, it seems forever. And they would always cut these promos. Hey, you can write Hulk Hogan a letter. Hey, you can do this. Hey, you can do that. Dude, I wrote him so many fucking letters. I thought, this is real. He's getting my letters. I'm going to have him come back sooner.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
know what I
Ultimately
mean?
defeated Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I stand corrected. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, I remember watching Hogan, Hogan come out, drop the leg on Macho Man, and like I was part of me was devastated, but part of me was like this. And even as a kid, I was like, this could be something. This could be something. And man, it was. I mean, listen, um, I have no problem promoting other podcasts on here. 83 weeks with Eric Bischoff, and I always forget his name. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts now. It's not Connor. I don't remember his name, and I'm drawing a blank, but it's 83 weeks. He's the host with Eric Bischoff, and they talk about, the 83 weeks where the Monday Night Wars, where WCW was beating Monday Night Raw, where Nitro was beating Raw, and it was just a great time to be alive for wrestling, man, and to get to see that as a kid and growing up in it, and looking back on it, it was just fun to watch. I can't believe I can't. Damn name, I gotta look it up now. Oh no,
John Alba? No,
no.
I have it Googled.
83 weeks podcast. I know his name. It's right there. What is his damn name? Oh, golly.
I see nothing but Eric Bischoff.
There's another guy, chubby guy with a beard, rosy cheeks. I can't remember his damn name. Conrad Thompson. Jeez. I knew it started with a C. Conrad Thompson.
Well, so let me ask you something then.
Okay.
With Hogan, what made him, in your opinion, such a household name? Because you had Ric Flair before him. You had the Four Horsemen before him. You had people that were really pushing that envelope as far as professional wrestling goes. Like, what, in your opinion, made Hogan stand out to where here we are talking about him 40 years later? I mean, yeah, we're still talking about Sting and Ric Flair and Arn Anderson and, you know what I mean? Cowboy Orton. But Hogan is synonymous with WWE. Why is that?
Number one thing that I can think of, larger than life, and in so many ways, his personality. DDP, love him to death, and he's told the story that he was too much. He was told he was too over the top for professional wrestling. Think about that. Too over the top, too animated for wrestling. And Hogan, obviously, with the size, what was it, 94-inch pythons or whatever the hell it was, his muscles, and he was very in your face, and he was just big. He was a big personality. He was a big person. And I think he came along at the right moment, at the right time. You had Mr. T and Hogan at WrestleMania 1 against Hot Rod Piper. I don't like saying Roddy Piper because I feel like in my head that I'm saying it wrong. So I always say Hot Rod. When you had Hot Rod come in to be the bad guy, and I don't think anybody else could have pulled that off the way Hot Rod did. And for my money, Hot Rod will forever be the best heel of all time
There's nobody better than him. He was just a guy who loved to be hated. You know, he even said in interviews, he was like, man, he goes, being the bad guy was easy. It was fun.
I never really considered him a heel, even when he was a heel. I always gravitated more toward Kurt Hennig.
Okay.
Dude,
Okay.
Mr. Perfect was fucking awesome to me, dude. I never really got into Ravishing Rick Rude, but Mr. Perfect, it was something about him being that heel. That's what clicked for me, you know?
Right. But no, I just, to answer your question, I think it just, he was that first real, because of WrestleMania, he was that first like well-known megastar. You hear it today, you know, they're not considered wrestlers, they're considered superstars in WWE, right? And he had the look, he had the charisma, he had the mic skills, he knew how to cut a promo. He could get in there and just go. I mean, Undertaker, Mark Calloway himself has even put Hulk Hogan on his Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. That says something, because Taker and Taker's not really a fan of Hogan, but for him to put aside his personal stuff and say, look, dude, the guy was just, he was the man. He was it. He was the standard for the industry. And people still measure, you know, use Hogan as a measuring stick. Now you could argue that Taker is now the measuring stick, but I think that's more so as a leader in the locker room and a leader in, you know, pay-per-views and that kind of thing. But man, Hogan was the top tier standard for years. And 40 years later, here we are still talking about the guy.
Now, was the standard created because of WrestleMania 1, or was that standard already established prior?
I think guys like Arn Anderson, I think guys like Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, I can't leave out Dusty Rhodes, man. Sting. I think they laid down the foundation and the groundwork, and I think Hogan just took it to another level.
Well, I mean, because I'm looking at the card for WrestleMania 1. You had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Tito Santana, King Kong Bundy. I mean, Hogan, yeah, he main evented WrestleMania 1, but it was a tag team match with Mr. T against Roddy Piper. So, not taking anything away from Hogan, how come we're not giving the same, I guess, due credit to Piper? He pushed the envelope like more than anybody, especially being a heel.
I think, not to take anything away from Hot Rod, because look, Hot Rod will forever be one of my favorites. I think he's one of the most underrated wrestlers. He's right there in my book with guys like Kurt Angle, with guys like Al Snow, with guys like Dustin Rhodes. He really just, I think Hogan he pushed that envelope just a little further. He was the next breakout star, and again, right place, right time, right person. He just came in at a time where they needed somebody to push him to that next level, and he did just that. And, you know, the whole eat your vitamins, say your prayer thing. I mean, you know, you had the kids behind him, you had the parents behind him. Everywhere he went, he was loved. I mean, go back and watch WrestleMania 1. Go back and watch.
Oh, I did.
2,
yeah.
You know, and you can see I can't, unless I really just paused it and looked at every person. I don't think I ever saw anybody boo Hogan when he was a babyface. Never. Go back and watch him with The Rock. It was Rocky Hogan, you know. And
yeah, because even when he was against The Rock, he was technically a heel at the time.
Yeah. And yet he was still loved. And again, it takes a special person to be able to be a heel and still be loved. Jericho. Let's talk about Chris Jericho for a minute. You know, he was one of those people. He was a heel. You've made the list, you know, and people still loved him. They get behind those things. LA Knight, I don't remember where he was before WWE. I think it was TNA, Impact. It was somewhere. People were behind LA Knight even back then. Now, not like they are now. I mean, now he's on a different level, but let's just be honest. If we're going to, call it down the middle, I mean, WWE is the standard for wrestling. Always has been, probably always will be. But
well, I mean, if you're using those examples, I mean, Seth Rollins is a prime example of that.
yeah. Seth
Even as a
Rollins was
heel, people loved him. The Miz as a heel, people loved him. Brock Lesnar as a heel, people loved him.
Oh yeah. So I think that's just it. It's just he came in on the right time. He had the charisma. He had the look. He was a Vince McMahon guy. Vince McMahon, handpicked Hogan, and we could have an argument for days about who made wrestling, McMahon or Hogan.
I thought it was more his dad.
Maybe. But regardless of who made who, Hogan was right for the business at the right time. Yeah. And, again, wrestlers are always having to reinvent themselves, right? I mean, more recent, you had Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate, right? And then he came out before he disappeared this last time. He was the cowboy Lesnar, he came out with the hat and the plaid cut off shirts and all that. And people loved him. And then when Hogan turned and they went to the NWO, people got on board with it. I mean, airports, they were having to get security just to get the fans away from them because everybody wanted to be around the NWO. Yeah. Because it was Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. I mean, hello. So I don't know, man. I could talk Hogan for another hour. But I felt like we had to at least pay our respects to him. There's no easy segue into this. Do you have anything else about Hogan?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. Of course. So we got the news last night of Seth Rollins torn MCL, and
according to him, he's going to ignore the doctors.
So.
And go to WrestleMania.
Man, and look, there are 3 sports that you have to be on a different level. Hockey being number 1. Bull riders number 2, and wrestlers number 3. And wrestlers literally put their bodies on the line every time they go out there. And for him to say, I'm going to ignore the doctors and I'm still going to fight, I'm still going to be at WrestleMania, that says a lot. Now, is it the smartest thing he could do? Probably not. I was listening to Busted Open yesterday, and Mark Henry tore both of his MCLs, had surgery, went home, grabbed his bags, and went back on the road. And he had both knees done. And he fought on him like that for 6 weeks before he finally had to have the surgery. Now, look, you can say what you want. MCL, ACL, those are not just, rub some dirt on it and get back out there, kid. I mean, those are some gnarly injuries.
Well, exactly. And that brings me to a question. So he's already saying he's going to ignore the doctors. He's going to do his own thing. He's going to go to WrestleMania. He's going to fight through it all. Go to WrestleMania. So that takes guesswork out right there. You already know someone's going to challenge him for the title at WrestleMania. You already know he's not going to be in Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to defend the title at the event.
Right.
And he's not going to be at Elimination Chamber. So he's going to be on the shelf for 3 months rehabbing the MCL. I kind of think that hurts him a little bit.
I do and I don't.
Unless they keep him in the forefront. Unless they keep having him push promos like he did last night.
Right.
I kind of see it. Now, his whole deal with Gunther, whether or not Gunther wins the Royal Rumble or not, that they're already establishing something right there for WrestleMania.
Right.
But here's the thing, though. Is that going to be a short term? Is Gunther really going to be the guy to challenge him at WrestleMania, or is he going to be a short term rivalry, just like Drew McIntyre, just like Shinsuke Nakamura was, just like fucking Cody Rhodes was? Who else did he feud with? Just in the last couple of months,
CM Punk. So
Logan Paul.
Here's what I'm thinking. Again, I'm not saying I'm right. Just my thoughts. I think CM Punk wins the Rumble, and I think he goes after Rollins. And I see where you're coming from. Look, I'm going to be honest. The Gunther thing last night pissed me off. Like, this guy, I mean, you could see it was, again, raw reaction, that thing that I really love about wrestling. He was crying. He was soaking it in. He was thanking the crowd. And then here comes Gunther. And I get it. It's part of the show. It's part of the act. It's part of wrestling. I understand that. But this guy is having a real moment with the fans. And for him to get cut off like that, I'm not going to lie. I almost turned off the wrestling. I was like, nope. And that was in the first 10 minutes of the show. You know, I legitimately got pissed. And then Seth Rollins pulled me back in with one line. Well, Gunther, if you and your Goonies hadn't come out here and interrupted me, I was going to say I'm still going to be at WrestleMania. And I was like, whoa. So now, the thing with wrestling is this. Yes, we know it's fake, Kyle. Go back to your mom's basement. How serious is this injury? Is this a legit injury? Like, is he legit hurt? Or is he upplaying it for the show, for the story? We don't know. I do think there is some realism behind it just because of his reaction last night. But at the same time, you know what? I don't like it any more than you do, man. I really don't. I mean, I don't want to see the guy get hurt. Even if it was Roman Reigns, I wouldn't want to see him fighting, you know, on one leg. To me, it's not fair to them, and it's not fair to the fans either. But if he can do it, and I think he can, go for it. Look at Cody Rhodes when he tore his pec. Do you know how Cody Rhodes tore his pecs, by the way?
When in bench press?
He was doing a bench press, working out one day. That's how he tore it. So, I mean,
my fear is that people are going to hold it against him, that he needs to be saved from himself. And I say this because when he won the title, he made such a big deal against Brock Lesnar, against Roman Reigns, not ever really defending the titles, going on like 4, 5, 6 month breaks before they make one defense, then another 4, 5, 6 months before making another defense, whatever. He wanted to be active. But now, because of the injury, he's in the same boat as Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but
granted, different circumstances, but he's still out. He's not active. And I fear that's going to hurt him.
I don't think it will.
You don't think so?
No, because when you have a name like Roman Reigns, when you have a name like Brock Lesnar, people kind of know what they're getting, right? That they know they're not going to defend at every pay-per-view. They're not going to defend at every Raw. They're not going to defend every couple of Raws. They know it's SummerSlam, Hell in a Cell,
but
WrestleMania.
Seth was so different.
Yeah, but
Seth was like every time he turned around, he was defending that title.
And I think
loved that. And
I think he's done that enough to give him that credibility. I think that's going to be a saving grace. Look, I was a fighting man's champion for a year. I've helped carry this company for the last year, 2 years, whatever it's been. So I think he's earned that right. I hate this word. I really do. I hate this word.
but I feel like he's entitled to it.
Yeah, I would say he definitely deserves it. I fear that it's going to kill whatever momentum he had going
I don't think it will.
by sitting out 3 months. That's my biggest fear. It's going to kill whatever momentum he had going into it.
I think he's got enough mic skills and enough promo skills in him to keep it going. I really honestly do. And again, he's been helping carry this company for the last year and a half. So I do think that him and Gunther at some point might face off, but the fans all want to know. The fans all want to see it. They all want to see CM Punk versus Rollins, and I think that's what we're going to get. I think Rollins walks in Saturday and he wins. I think it'll be close, but I think not Rollins. CM Punk. Yeah, I think Punk wins.
Do you really think he will challenge Rollins over Reigns?
Yes. And the reason I say that is because you have The Rock, you have Cody Rhodes, you have RKO, you have AJ Styles, you have LA Knight. You have enough people chasing after Rollins. CM Punk doesn't need to go after Rollins. Rollins is on SmackDown, CM Punk's on Raw. So I feel like there's enough there for storylines that they don't need to worry about Rollins.
I understand storylines, but you're on the outside looking in. You're going to want to go after the big dog. That's almost the and this is going to sound disrespectful, and I don't mean it to, but if Punk won the Royal Rumble and challenged Rollins, I don't know. It would seem like a cheap. It would seem like a cheap call out. It wouldn't have the same oomph to it. I don't know if it's because Rollins has already been so vocal about his injuries that it's almost like it's a cheap way for, okay, hey, CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble. I'm going to challenge for this title because I know this guy is hurt. I know this guy is vulnerable. I have a much better shot at doing this.
Yeah, but
same fucking reason that Damian Priest continues to try to cash in when Rollins is hurt. I think it's a cheap attack.
I don't think so, and here's why. Because before Punk got hurt, or before Rollins got hurt, Punk and Rollins had already faced off. And Punk pretty much already told him, I'm coming after you. He already called a shot before Rollins got hurt. So again, I don't think it loses that oomph to it. I don't think it loses any mustard to it. He already, Punk's already said, I'm coming after you. The fans want it more than anybody. And I'm sorry, not sorry. I think WrestleMania, again, I hate this word, but I feel like WrestleMania is the one show of the year the fans are entitled to get what they want. That's the big payoff. That's the Super Bowl, right? And we have a little Triple H is full control of creative now. And Triple H listens to the fans. Now, are we going to get every single story that we want at WrestleMania? No. Are we going to get every single match that we want to see get won at WrestleMania? No, there's going to be a couple. But I do honestly believe that Punk wins the Royal Rumble and he goes after Rollins because that story was already set in place before the injury.
Okay.
Now,
when do you think that Damian Priest will cash in on the Money in the Bank? Because he has until July.
Royal Rumble. Not Royal Rumble. Sorry.
You think he'll do a Seth Rollins and cash it in right there at Royal Rumble?
No, I think he'll do it at the Mania.
Or WrestleMania?
Yeah. I think he'll do it at Mania. I think that's when he will officially cash it in. Now, will he win it? I don't know. I think that the stories are too open right now, and there's so many superstars gearing for jockeying for position that I don't think it's going to be, if he does it at the Rumble or if he does it at Elimination Chamber, I think it'll be like it has been here the last couple of months. He'll go out there, he'll want to cash it in, and then something will happen, and he'll grab his briefcase and he'll tuck tail and run.
If he cashes in at WrestleMania, because it seems like he's only been going after Seth Rollins. If he cashes in and loses, that's one thing. If he cashes in and wins, then you've got either Seth Rollins, who's injured, continuing his rivalry against Judgment Day, or you now have CM Punk, a new face, starting a rivalry with Judgment Day.
And I think CM Punk is the one that starts that rivalry with him.
And Rollins has he can bow out gracefully and finally rehab all his shit.
Yes.
Okay.
That's kind of where I see that. I want to switch gears for just a moment.
Yeah.
We've talked about face-offs, and last night we watched CM Punk and Rhodes face off. I loved everything about that, but the ending. I thought the ending was a little too much, and I know it's supposed to be egos. It's supposed to be two big bulls in the ring. I saw a meme today that painted a perfect picture for me. I saw a side-by-side of Cody Rhodes and CM Punk facing off, and then I saw a picture of Wolverine and Cyclops facing off. And while I don't think CM Punk is necessarily on Wolverine's level, Cyclops and the X-Men has always kind of been like Captain America to me. You know, Mr. Perfect, Mr. All-American, Mr. Eat your vitamins, blah, 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 blah. And then CM Punk's always kind of been that. I know Logan Paul uses it, but he's always kind of been that solo guy, that maverick, so to speak. And I thought that was perfect. And they went in a different direction. I knew that Dusty Rhodes was going to get brought up somehow. I knew it was because everybody brings in Dusty Rhodes, brings in his name when it comes to Cody Rhodes, always. And I didn't think about the story, though, about him sharing the story about, you know, Dusty called up CM Punk and said, hey, my boy's coming to OVW. Can you kind of look out for him a little bit? I didn't know that was coming, but I did know Dusty's name was going to get tossed out there because it always does. I thought it was super intense. I thought it was quick-witted. I thought it was, you know, 1-2 punches on both sides. I'm more CM Punk than you are. I'm more Cody Rhodes than you are. I'm more the American Dream than you are, blah, 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 blah. I honestly really enjoyed it. And then when they did that face-off and they're pushing each other, they're, you know, two bulls in a pen going, to me, that was just a bit too much. I felt like it kind of lost a little bit of its luster there. But here's the thing, I don't know why. Again, I say this every show. I try to think as a wrestler, even though I'm not one. I want to get inside their heads. I want to kind of see how they see the psychological side of wrestling. And I just felt like that was a little too over the top. That was a little, had they just kind of, you know, gone face to face and then backed off, then one thing, but it was just it was just constant. And I was just like, dude, stop. It's
that's over. The thing. So I have an answer for you. The reason it didn't feel like natural or you accepted it, you already expect CM Punk to win the Royal Rumble. He wins the Royal Rumble, he's starting shit with Seth Rollins. So why is the whole headbutting going on with him and Cody Rhodes? I don't think Punk wins the Royal Rumble. I think it goes right to him and Cody Rhodes, a little bit back and forth between now and Elimination Chamber. It goes right to a head at WrestleMania. I'm thinking someone else wins the Rumble and calls out Rollins, whether it's Gunther, whether it's Shinsuke, whether it's Drew McIntyre, who the fuck knows? I don't know.
R-Truth.
Right? Oh, that would be so awesome. But I don't think I don't think CM Punk will do it. And I think that's, if you take a step back and watch that promo again without the expectation that CM Punk is going to win the Rumble and start shit with Seth Rollins, then it makes more sense.
Well, and the thing with the promo is Punk brought up a really good point. He says, I know how to take the Royal Rumble's nothing personal, right? So if I eliminate you, it's not personal. It's business. And then he said, Cody Rhodes, this business to you is personal. Wrestling is personal because it's all you know. It's your family's legacy. It's your legacy. So come Sunday morning, can we still be friends? And I thought that was just, whether somebody wrote that for CM Punk or CM Punk pulled that out of a hat, out of his ass, I don't know. I don't care. I thought it was perfect. You know, and I've said this 100 times. CM Punk's one of the best on the mics. I still think the Miz is better than him, but we'll leave it at that. I thought he made a really good point. I don't know, man. The headbutting thing, it's not so much the expectation of CM Punk winning. It's just, I felt like it was too much. I felt like the psychology of it it didn't really fit those two personalities a whole lot. But at the same time, it's personal. You know,
I think Punk is going to eliminate Cody Rhodes. Someone else will eliminate Punk. He is not winning.
Okay.
But I think Punk eliminates Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes takes it a little bit more personally. And that starts off that rivalry going into WrestleMania.
Okay. All right.
Now, who wins Royal Rumble? I don't know. So far, we have like 10, 11 people already declared. We have almost half.
There's been whispers of The Rock showing up. I'm just saying. Now, how upset would you be on another level? Let's play the what if game. And I know you can do that all night, but let's play the what if game. What would your reaction be if The Rock won the Royal Rumble?
If he won the Royal Rumble, then we already know that's setting up the rumors that people have been talking about for the last 1, 2, maybe 3 years. Him and Roman Reigns.
Right.
If he enters the Royal Rumble and he gets eliminated, then it's like, what the fuck was the point? Yep. As soon as his music hits, I guarantee you will know right then and there he is winning the Royal Rumble. So his music will not hit. If he enters the Royal Rumble, he will not be anything other than number 30. They will not have him come out earlier. I guarantee you.
I'm not going to. I don't know. Number 30 makes the most sense to me logically. Maybe number 29, 28. But yeah, I think he'll be one of the final 4 in the Royal Rumble if he shows up. Again, that's a massive if he shows up. Do I think he will? I think there's a possibility, but I don't necessarily think he needs to. But again, you're playing the game of, okay, well, if he doesn't show up at the Rumble, he doesn't win the Rumble. When's he going to show up? Because he's already said that he's not going to be at Elimination Chamber. So was he going to? Did he show up, make that massive promo? Do I sit at the head of the table and then not show up again until Mania?
I will go back to what I said about CM Punk. That his matches being dark matches were good to get his feet wet, get him comfortable with WWE again, the performers, everything else. So I will use the same answer for The Rock. If he shows up, and that's a huge if. All signs are pointing to it. But if he makes an appearance at the Royal Rumble, it's not going to be a distraction against Roman Reigns. It will be as an entrant in the 30-man Royal Rumble. And he will be number 30 because any spot before that, does it as service. You already know he's going to fucking win it. I mean, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
well, now does it do?
I would say put him in the Royal Rumble, number 30. Still have a couple of guys, maybe Final 4, Final 5. But just like I said about CM Punk, get the Rock's feet wet. They're not going to put him in dark matches to get him the ring rust out of the way, because that'll just spoil the surprise. He needs to be in the Royal Rumble, 4, 5 people, same time. Just he needs to be active. I think that moment will get that little ring rust. So if anything goes wrong, not that many people are going to notice it, because you're going to have like 4 or 5 other people fighting at the same time.
Now let me ask you this. I want to play a scenario.
Okay.
The Rock comes in number 28. Okay. Just stick with me on this.
28. Gotcha.
The Rock comes in number 28, eliminates, take your pick. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, whoever, R-Truth, I don't care. He gets eliminated. Boom.
The Rock gets eliminated?
Yes. Boom.
Okay.
Rock's out. Okay. Fast forward through the night. Roman Reigns is fighting whoever he's fighting. I think it's RKO, LA Knight,
Randy Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles.
So Bloodline comes out. They start wreaking havoc. Boom. Rock's music hits, comes out, saves the day. Now you have a stare down between Roman Reigns and The Rock. Okay. And The Rock does the infamous points to the WrestleMania sign. Now you have 2 months to get that ring rust out of The Rock. Get his feet wet. He got his feet wet in the Royal Rumble. He got his pop. He got the crowd going. He's back. And now every couple of weeks, once a month until WrestleMania, The Rock makes an appearance and tells Roman, I'm coming after you.
If there's the scenario that the Bloodline comes in to interfere with Roman Reigns' title defense and The Rock comes out, there's going to be no reason for them to make him an entrant in the Royal Rumble. Plain and simple.
What's going on? Dylan Busby in the house.
I don't see both scenarios playing out. He's either going to be an entrant in the Royal Rumble and win it, or he's not going to be in it at all. And it's going to be the scenario you said, where some kind of interference goes on in the Fatal 4. The Rock comes out, hopefully kind of even the odds, Bloodline versus the other 3, whatever. But it's not going to be both.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Because, I mean, think about it. If they're going to have him come out and kind of prevent interference and then get in Reigns' face and then point at WrestleMania, then there's really no point in them having him be in the Royal Rumble itself.
Well,
they can just bring him out anyway.
You're right. And you have him come out in the Royal Rumble just so the fans know he's back. But again, I mean, if later in the night, Bloodline interferes with the matches, I already know the Bloodline's going to interfere in this damn match. And they're going to interfere with the match at Elimination Chamber because that's what the Bloodline does. I'm so sick and tired of seeing that. And I know it's part of wrestling, yada, yada, yada. I'm being a sore sport about it. I'm being a normal WWE fan at the moment. But I think regardless, I think we have a very possible Rock sight at the Royal Rumble. And I think that's when he's really going to make his presence known with Roman Reigns. So if the reports that I'm reading are right, and yes, one of them is Dave fucking Meltzer. If the reports I'm reading are right,
you need to stop reading this shit, man.
Oh, man. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Every time I go to read a freaking article, I'll read the article and go, huh, That's kind of crap. And then I see at the little bottom corner, Dave Meltzer. I'm like, that explains it. You can polish a turd all you want. You're still a turd, Dave Meltzer. Go away. Nobody likes you. But I think it's very possible and plausible that we see The Rock at the Royal Rumble. I don't know if it's going to be in the Rumble itself or if it's going to be in the Fatal 4-Way. No idea. But regardless, I'm looking forward to it. Dylan, since you're here, announced earlier, we are going to have a watch party for the Royal Rumble Saturday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Just like we have now. I'll be here at my house. Bruce will be in his dungeon doing his thing. And we're going to have live reaction. We can't show the Rumble itself, but we're going to have live reaction.
We can't even air the audio, can we?
No, we cannot.
All right, so we are basically serving as unofficial commentators giving
right.
our okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, which kind of sucks for me because I like listening to all the. I'm a huge Michael Cole fan. Okay, look, there will never be another JR and Jimmy the King Lawler as far as commentators go, but I'm a huge Michael Cole fan. I love watching Michael Cole. I love hearing him call matches. So, not hearing Michael Cole's voice is going to drive me nuts in the Rumble, but
you can still hear it.
Not why I've got this on. Yeah, we
have your connect your TV to your computer, your laptop. Have it as like a separate monitor. Have the Royal Rumble up on the television. That way you can still hear the audio through your headset, and it's not showing up on stream. That's what I'm going to do.
That's too complicated for me. I don't know how to do all that.
Bro, I can do it for you. So I have the 3 monitors set up right here.
I got one.
I know, but I'm saying, so you'll have the laptop in your TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our stream right here going on, StreamYard, main monitor. You'll have Royal Rumble on your television. So, example, my second screen. You can have that going on, still going on through your headset. Stream won't hear it.
Huh. Okay. We'll see. But Dylan, to answer your question, yes, Raw is moving to Netflix. 10 years, $5 billion with a B. $1 billion. I'm okay with it. I think it'll be fine. As many stream apps as there are out there. And look, we have Netflix. Sam's got Netflix. And if I have to reactivate mine just to watch Raw, I will. I don't care. But yeah, it's going away from USA Network. It's going to Netflix, which I honestly don't have an opinion. I think it's fine. I think WWE will be fine. That they won't have as many people telling them what to do. They have free range. Speaking of The Rock, though, did you see my post and my text message that The Rock is now a board member of TKO Sports? I sent it to you on your phone, too. The Rock is actually an active board member of TKO Sports.
That does not surprise me.
That means that The Rock can literally change anything he wants to. I want you to think about this. Wrap your brain around this, if you will. Indulge me, if you will, as Damian Sandow used to say. You have Triple H, head of creative. You have The Rock, a board member of TKO, who now, I don't know if owned is the right word, but they're partnered with WWE.
No, they own TKO. No, they own it.
So
just like they do UFC.
You essentially have 2 wrestlers, 2 top tier guys in the business, 2 Hall of Famers running the show. No Vince McMahon at the helm. Now, do I like that Rock is in TKO? First knee-jerk reaction, no, I don't.
I think it's smart.
Am I surprised by it? No. But you have, again, a Hall of Famer, mind you. The reason why we have WWE SmackDown, for God's sake, the SmackDown was named for The Rock. it might be one of the most brilliant moves in recent memory. It really honestly might.
I think adding him to the board of directors, he's not going to be able to change everything
No.
that he wants. I mean, it's still going to be a majority rules kind of thing, right? So it's not just him versus Triple H in a scenario. But I think it's smart that TKO brings him in because they are mostly known for the real combat sports. Another reason why they integrated UFC into this.
Big shout out to Dana White, by the way.
Right? Bringing The Rock gives them that inside knowledge into WWE. And it might actually open that door to merge with AEW later on down the road. Nobody on that board of directors knows anything about professional wrestling. It's always been, whether it's boxing, mixed martial arts, what have you, never professional wrestling. They needed somebody to speak that language, but also their language at the same time. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. I'm glad you said that because I'm trying not to get off on a tangent here, but if you go back, you watch documentary wrestlers about OVW with Al Snow at the helm. Al Snow runs that. He is the booker, right? And OVW is run by two millionaires that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground when it comes to wrestling. They don't know anything. Al Snow is that voice of reason. Al Snow is the voice of the wrestlers. So it makes perfect sense for The Rock to be in TKO.
Yeah.
Again, two completely different platforms, two completely different spectrums, but same concept still applies. You have a wrestler in OVW that is telling these millionaires, hey, dude, back off. Get away from my guys. You don't know this business like you think you do. And then you have The Rock that can step in and go, look, you really want to argue with me? Seriously? So,
yeah, I don't think he's going to interfere at all.
That would be like Alabama hiring Nick Saban as their athletic director, and then somebody telling Nick Saban, you don't know college football. Really? Seriously? Okay. 6 championships rings. See your way out. Bye. But man, I've said it the last few weeks, and I know I know you and I are kind of sick of talking about the Rumble because it seems like that's all we talked about for the last month and a half. But I am excited for it. It's one of my favorite pay-per-views that they run. So not to mention the women's division. And I have a surprise winner for the women's division. So real quick, we're going to do this. You go first. Who are your winners for the Rumble? Final picks. You can't change it after this. So who are you winning? Who's winning the Royal Rumble? Women's division, men's division, go.
For men's division, I would I don't know. I think okay, so for women's, I think I don't know. I don't know.
Putting you on the spot. Come on, man. Come on now.
Maybe Becky for the women's.
Okay.
And it would make more sense for her to challenge Rhea Ripley than Io Sky. For the men, I am still fuck. I would have before last night.
You can't change it
before last night. I would have said Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
But since he had that little face off with CM Punk and everyone's getting their butt feelings hurt, this and that, I'm led to believe those two are going to wrestle in WrestleMania, and it doesn't matter either one of them wins Royal Rumble. I think No one who has been announced will win the Royal Rumble. That's my answer.
Okay. All right.
I think it's going to be a complete shot. So far, you have Cody Rhodes, CM Punk,
Yep.
Shinsuke Nakamura,
Yep.
Bobby Lashley,
Okay.
Drew McIntyre,
Yep.
Gunther,
Uh-huh.
Chad Gable and Otis, and
Yes.
Akira Tozawa,
Mm-hmm.
Kofi Kingston, and
Mhm.
Damian Priest. None of them are going to win. I genuinely think it's going to be a sleeper.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's your answer, a sleeper, huh?
That's my answer, a sleeper.
Okay. So I already kind
It'll
of
be
said it
someone
earlier.
other than those guys.
I'm sticking with CM Punk. I think the way they brought him back and as hush hush as it was and as big as a pop as he got, I think it just makes too much sense not to do it. So I'm going to give the typical WWE fan reaction and pick, and I'm going to go CM Punk. That is my final answer.
But consider this. When did he come back? He came out during Cody Rhodes' match. Yes, it was like a 5-on-5 thing, but it dealt with Cody Rhodes, not Roman Reigns.
That's
It was
right.
Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and everyone else against Judgment Day.
I'm still picking CM Punk.
Okay.
I'm picking CM Punk. Now,
All right.
women's division. I like Becky. I'm kind of pulling for Becky a little bit. Makes the most sense to me. If I'm looking at it philosophically, story-wise, it makes the most sense. She has the most, I don't want to say the most to prove because I don't really think she has anything to prove, but she has a real big chip on her shoulder right now. Nia Jax is there. You can't ever, count her out of anything. But this one's going to shock you.
Okay.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Bayley. She is my pick for the women's division to win.
Okay. But okay.
Her and Damage Control have kind of been teetering a little bit, kind of there, kind of not.
Right.
And Becky came out against Nia Jax. They kind of went back and forth. They had their whole thing. And I just feel like she's kind of getting that extra push. Triple H has said on multiple occasions that he really likes Becky. So I just, something tells me if I don't pick Becky, I'm going to regret it. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like with her Damage Control kind of teetering on the verge of the brink right there, I got to go Becky. Or Bayley, sorry.
Bayley, okay.
So Bayley and CM Punk are your winners at the Royal Rumble. And I'm calling it now. The Roman Reigns Fatal 4-Way.
He's not losing his title. Let's be
interference. He is still your champion at the end of the night.
What would have been really interesting is if they added the no DQ stipulation or Fatal 4 elimination.
Well,
I think that would have made it really, really interesting.
Now, keep in mind, they have been known, and this hasn't happened in a while because I was reading up on this the other day. They have been known to change it to no DQs last minute during the pay-per-view. But I think they would save something like that for WrestleMania. I don't think they will do it at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, as much as I would like to see him lose the title, he's retaining it.
He's retaining it here, and I'm just gonna say it now. He's gonna retain it at the Elimination Chamber. If he puts the title on the line at Elimination, he will retain it then too. So
I genuinely think whoever gets screwed over more in the Fatal 4, that's who he's wrestling at WrestleMania. I don't think it's going to be The Rock. Someone's telling me it's not going to be The Rock.
Okay. So
I vision Randy Orton and a Roman Reigns for the title of WrestleMania.
Okay. All right. Well, how was your beer, man?
It was good. It was really good. First time I've had it. Got it over at Total Wine. Imperial Feist beer, 7.9%. Pretty good, man.
All right. Wicked Pickle Spicy Pickle Flavored Whiskey. One stiff pickle.
Oh, that
35%.
hurts just hearing that, bro.
35% alcohol by volume, 70 proof. This is a 750 milliliter bottle. Smell is, it's spicy pickle, man. It's just a hint of whiskey. Smooth as can be. Let me get a. Ooh. Ooh. So this is only the second whiskey we've ever drank or rated on the show.
Oh, I'm having some during Royal Rumble for sure.
$20 at your local. I got it. I got this at Goody Goody. I am on. So give me the backstory of this, and then I'll give you my rating on this whiskey here. I found a green apple Canadian whiskey. Green apple. If you know anything about me, know this. I dip Skull green apple. Right here. Here it is. Skull green apple. Dipped it since high school. And my favorite Jolly Ranchers are the green apples. So I love green apple.
Green apple is the bomb, bro.
Well, there is a Canadian green apple. It's called the Swear Jar. I think Total Wine and More sells it for like $25, $30.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to find that.
I'm gonna pick me some up this weekend. I might have some for the Rumble. But
You said Swear Jar?
I
I need to see if Total Wine will have it.
But I do like this whiskey here, this pickle, the spicy pickle. Oh man. It doesn't beat out Witherspoon and it doesn't beat out Jack Daniels, but those are very near and dear to my heart. I'm going to give this one a 3.5. I feel like the aftertaste, while it's good, it's just a little too much spice because there are certain whiskeys out there that they have that more of a whiskey flavor, that more of a kind of a kickback, that bite of a whiskey. And this to me is just too much pickle and too much spice. That's the only negative thing I had to say about it. It's very smooth, smells good. But yeah, I'm going to say a 3.5 on this whiskey. I do enjoy it though. It's not bad. It's not bad. I can see myself drinking some more of this. I'll probably save this for a special occasion. Like I said, I don't mind it. Now, is it my first go-to? Absolutely not. Is it my second go-to? Probably not. Third, fourth. Yeah, I mean, it's still good. It's just not great. I do like it though. What's your rating on your beer you got there, bud?
I'd probably name it like a 4.
4? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not too bad. I mean, nothing entirely special, but I mean, it was still pretty good.
And of course, the beer that I had tonight, we all know. Come on, we all know. It's the unofficial beer.
We all
show.
know.
It's a long time coming from Denton County Brewing and No Label Brewing Company out of Houston, Texas. Man, oh gosh, I have 2 left, and I don't know what I'm going to drink them. Oh man,
Dude, it would be kind of nice if we went out there.
I'm just saying, it could happen. You have your boys this weekend?
This weekend, no.
Oh, damn it. We might have to sneak out there Sunday. But regardless, man, it's been a fun
Sunday's
show.
football day, so yeah, I mean, if we can swing it out early. I'm going to try and swing out to Total Wine. I was seeing that green apple, $25 for a 750 milliliter bottle.
Ooh.
Says what aisle it is and everything, so I might go pick up a bottle.
Ooh. All right. Well, it's been fun. Do you have anything else before we go?
No.
Make sure you're checking us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, now YouTube.
And YouTube.
YouTube.
coming soon, as soon as I can figure out how, we're going to get you on the Spotify world and the Apple world of podcasting. I got to look into that. I don't know anything about it. I used to, I don't anymore. Man, this has been a fun show. Lots to talk about, lots to cover. We'll see you guys Saturday, 7 p.m. right here live for the Royal Rumble reactions. Again, we can't stream the show or the Royal Rumble itself, but we can stream a show and come in, have a beer with us, have a whiskey with us. If you're drinking a Coke or a glass of milk, tell us. We'd love to hear it. And we'll see you guys later. Cover your ears because it's about to get loud.
It's going to be loud. I need to adjust the volume.
And this one might get taken down because of copyright, but hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
As always, I'm Whiskey.
I'm Bruce.
I'm going to go put on my pants.